Hey everybody, happy Wednesday evening live tutorial stream. How's everybody doing wherever you are out there on the internet? Today it is the beginning of our streaming week here at the Beading Dreams, and we are super excited to have you guys all with us here today for this project. Okay, so hi Lori! Okay, so last week on Freeform Friday, I did a little repair, and y'all know that I couldn't just let that project lie. Of course, I had to make my own version of it, so that's going to be our tutorial tonight. So I was really lacking in mental energy when I was doing the class stuff, so I named it Dainty Gemstone Bangle, which is an appropriate description. I'm sure I could have come up with something cuter if I'd had a brain cell or two more, but Dainty Gemstone Bangle it is, and so that is this one here. So this is made just like the one that I repaired last week. So it's got 3 rounds of 24 gauge wire, and then it's got the all of the gemstones. In this case, these are garnets attached with 26 gauge wire. So we will be refocusing our camera. There we go. We're repositioning our camera. We will be let's try that again. We'll be doing that same procedure today, except for today I'm going to use these pretty blue kyanite beads instead of garnets. Now, one thing that is pretty notable about my sample is that it is huge. It's very big. Okay, so I've come up with a couple of ways to prevent that from happening on the one that I'm going to make on stream tonight. So we're going to go ahead and try and make one that's a little more reasonably sized, because it's practically, it's like an upper forearm ring for me, which is not ideal. I was going for a regular bracelet, not something that I could actually put up over my elbow. So let's talk tools and supplies for this evening's tutorial. You're going to need wire. You need 2 gauges, 24 and 26. I'm using gold fill, but you could really use any wire for this. Sterling silver, gold filled, brass, bronze, copper, base metal, craft wire, colored wire, whatever you happen to have. Also, I moved my ring light, as you can see by my glasses. Let me know if that's distracting to you all. Like, as long as I keep my head down just a little bit, I don't get it, but it's like the second I look up like this, I get the reflection in my glasses. So let me know if that ring light reflection is distracting to you all. In addition to my wire, I'm going to need some beads. You do not need a whole strand of beads. You really only need about 3 to 4 inches worth of beads, because as you can see, your beads are not smashed right up against each other. Okay, they are separated by your wire wraps. And that is really all you need as far as materials. So 26 gauge, 24 gauge, and beads. The beacons are lit. I know, right? Condor calls for aid. But are you referring to the ring lights in my glasses, or just the fact that I'm so pale that I reflect light? Inquiring minds want to know. As far as tools go, you're going to need a bracelet mandrel. It is helpful if you have a bangle sizer. If you don't have a bangle sizer, a tape measure will do. You're going to need some painter's tape. This is the potato. Okay, fine. This is going to help us not wind up with a ginormous bangle tonight. And then you do need your basic wire wrapping tools. So that's going to be your chain nose pliers, your round nose pliers. Probably not going to use those very much in your wire cutters. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to size my hand. So remember, when you are making a bangle, it's not your wrist measurement that is important. It is the ooh, I think iridescent contacts would be fun. So this is the measurement that matters with a bangle. It's the fattest part of your hand. And with this particular bracelet, don't make it too tight, because what will happen if it's too tight is you're just going to deform the heck out of it when you're trying to put it on. So you want a fairly snug fit, but you don't want it to be so incredibly tight that I know it's a stupid crunchy knuckle bits. Mary's not wrong. So I'm going to take my size bangle, and so by the way, a bangle sizer is a pretty cool tool. It's just a band of metal that has different sizes and you can just move the pin to whatever size is comfortable. So I'm right here at 8 inches total, but it goes all the way up to 9 inches. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bracelet mandrel and I'm going to drop my bangle sizer onto my bracelet mandrel, and then I'm going to mark with my painter's tape where I actually want to make that bracelet. Since this is just it's an unmarked mandrel, it doesn't actually have any sizes or inches or anything on it. I did not drink caffeine at 4:30. I need to fix that before the podcast stream. Oh dear. Which, by the way, we're having a podcast stream tonight for anybody who didn't know. That's our new Wednesday 7:30 p.m. stream. And our, okay, so that's where I'm going to do my wrapping. So our subject tonight is going to be protective imagery and symbolism in jewelry. So if you are looking to make jewelry to protect you, we're going to kind of go over a whole bunch of different things that are thought to be protective, why they're thought to be protective, where they originated, and all kinds of things like that. So that's going to be on this channel, twitch.tv/beadingdream at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. You take my 24 gauge wire and I'm going to cut 3 feet of it. And that should be enough to go around 3 times. And I'm going to go ahead and pre-rip a couple of small pieces of painter's tape. So, you know, they don't need to be huge, just about 1.5 inches or so, but we're going to use that when we take our wire off of our mandrel. We're going to use that to bind it together so that it doesn't once again spread and become something ginormous like my sample did. By the time I realized how ginormous it was, I was so close to the end of it, I was like, screw it, I don't even care. It's going to be whatever size it's going to be, and that's going to have to be fine. But ideally, this is way too big for me. Okay, so I'm going to take my mandrel, and right where I have my tape, I'm going to take my 24 gauge wire, and I'm just going to hold it right at that taped part, and I'm going to wrap it around my mandrel nice and tight 3 times. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're pulling a decent amount. And, pro tip, if you take the end of your wire and just bend it up ever so slightly, it gives you a little kind of handle to hold on to, makes everything less likely to slip. So I've got around once, twice, 3 times. I actually have enough wire that I can go around a 4th time. Okay, so that's not necessary, but you know, if you've got the extra wire, you might as well. Okay, so this is what you should have now. So I've got it wrapped around my mandrel. Once again, I went 4 times. 3 times was the goal. If I cut one. Oh god, sorry. I really need some caffeine. Okay, 3 times was the goal, but I cut more wire than I needed, so I went 4 times. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to very carefully take this off of my mandrel. And what you want is when you take it off of your mandrel, you don't want to let it spring open. This is where my painter's tape is going to come in handy. So I'm just going to take my painter's tape and I'm going to make a little flag around make a little flag around my wires, and once I've got that one flag done, then I can let go of it. And even though it's gotten a bit springy, everything is pretty much set in shape because of this piece of tape. So now I'm going to put another piece of tape on the opposite side. So And if you want to put a third one on the bottom, you can, but the two really should be enough to hold everything in place. So that is the base for my bracelet. Now, this is not super sturdy. As you wrap onto it, it will become sturdier. Okay, sorry, this is just going to turn into diminishing returns until I get a Diet Coke, so I'll be right back. Right? Seriously. Lori is not wrong. Okay, I'm back and I have acquired caffeine, so hopefully I will be slightly more wakeful in just a few minutes. Okay, so I should actually slam some this. Okay, so now that I've got my base, I'm going to go ahead and grab my 26 gauge wire, and I'm going to cut myself a longer piece of that. I'm going to cut myself about 6 feet of this, because as we've talked about previously on the Beading Dream stream, we're going to be wrapping around and around and around a lot on this project. And so any project where you're wrapping around in a circle is going to wind up taking significantly more wire than you think it will. So 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. Okay, so 6 feet. And I want to grab my beads and just make sure that they are readily accessible. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my strand. So what we're going to do, just like we do in our tapestry bangle project, is I'm going to go ahead and put all of these beads on, and then I'm going to start wrapping them into place. Or more precisely, I'm gonna attach them all around the outside of the bracelet, and then I'm gonna start making the little nests in which they are going to rest. So we want to go ahead and pick a place where the majority of the wires are overlapping. So this actually, since I went around 4 times, this actually has 5 wires that I can see right here. That's where I'm going to attach my 26 gauge to start my wrapping for my beads. So I'm going to just hold my 26 gauge perpendicular to the frame of that bracelet, and I'm going to wrap it around about 4 or 5 times. Now, a couple things you need to think about when you're doing this. First of all, you want this to stay flat. So don't crank it so tight that your wires go from being flat into a little, bundle, because that's not what you want. Flat is the goal. Second of all, you do have to pull the entire length of your wires through this circle. Best way to do that is to push through a small loop and then gently pull the rest of your wire through. You want to make sure you keep a weather eye out for kinks. Kinks in your wire are no bueno. Alright, so once I've got that anchored on, like so, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to string. So I don't know exactly how many beads I'm going to need for this. I'm just going to ballpark. I can always add more on. So I'm going to string about 3 inches worth of beads onto my wire. So all I'm doing is just 1 bead on, next bead on, next bead on. So there's nothing fancy about this. I'm just stringing the beads onto my wire. Like I said, I'm going to string about 3 inches worth of beads. That maybe enough. I may need to add a few more. That may be more than I need. You never know. Stringing the beads on first is the most efficient way to do this project, but you can, if you're more comfortable, you can string one bead and then wrap it onto the bracelet and then string the next bead, wrap it onto the bracelet, etc., etc. So it's really about whatever works best for you. So now we're just stringing. So our podcast topic tonight is going to be protective symbols and imagery and jewelry. If you have any questions, I know that some people posted already on our Discord channel for podcasts, questions that they had, which I will endeavor to answer tonight. But if you have any other questions about protective stones, protective talismans, and where all of that came from, go ahead and either post them in Discord or you can post them up in the chat, and I will do my best to answer those on the podcast stream, which starts at 7:30 p.m. Central Time, so in about 45 minutes. Alright, so once I'm done stringing on my beads, I am going to go ahead and fasten off the end of my wire with just a little twist. So I'm just going to fold it over like so, and then just pinch it and twist it. All this does is it keeps my beads from falling off the end of my wire, so I don't have to worry about that when I'm dealing with my bracelet. And I'm going to start wrapping these beads onto my, my bracelet. So I've got my whole string of beads and my bracelet here, so I'm going to take one bead, I'm going to lay it down against my bracelet, and then I'm going to wrap everything through the middle. Once again, be careful not to kink your wire. And I'm just going to wrap it around about 3 times. So that's once, twice, and 3 times. So that's got my bead nice and firmly attached on there. Now I'm going to bring it through the center one last time and bring down my second bead. So it's going to get a little easier as your wire gets shorter. Unfortunately, dealing with the long wire is just something that you have to do at the beginning of the project. Now, this project is fairly easy. Okay, so now I'm going to add my next bead. So I'm going to slide it down, lay it against my wire, and then 3 times around. Okay, define smushy disagreements, Mary. I require clarification.
I feel like I know exactly what.
Well, okay, then it's good that you're going to be on the podcast with me tonight, because my brain is not parsing that. I mean, you never know. Sometimes there is that much disagreement. Okay, so now I'm on my 3rd one. So I'm just going to continue this until I'm all the way around. So once I get here, I'm going to take this piece of tape off. By that point, everything should be stable enough that I'm not going to have to worry about my bracelet randomly changing size on me. Yeah, so unfortunately, my favorite reference as far as symbolism and such, at some point apparently got removed from Beading Dreams and never brought back. So I'm going to be doing a little of this by memory, but as long as nobody really requires annotated footnotes, I think we're going to be good. Heather's totally the type that would require annotated footnotes? Yes.
I just think my own. If it doesn't come with footnotes, store-bought's fine.
Fair. Okay. Really old footnote, right? Seriously. Of course you will make footnotes, Mary, because research is your superpower. Okay, so here I am at the end. So this is the end of one of the ends of the wire that I used to actually make my bangle frame. At this point, it is anchored by 4 beads, so I can go ahead and cut it off. So just cut it off nice and short, and then it'll tuck right under that bead, no problem. So now I'm just going to continue this process until all my beads are on there. Well, and that even depends on the person, because some people are very married to their symbols, and some people are very kind of, all embracing about everybody's symbols, and and sometimes it does kind of become a line of am I appropriating somebody else's symbol? I don't know. It can get weird, but we will talk about that on the podcast. Okay, and be careful. Please remember that, this is not super sturdy, so, be aware that you can deform this. I'm the same, Mary. Actually, it's interesting. Maybe it's not interesting. It's interesting to me. The one symbol that I feel most uncomfortable wearing is a symbol of Christianity. So I'll wear all of your, Hamsas and Buddhas and Shivas and all of that, but I won't wear a cross. Partly because I think that has such connotations here in Texas. If you wear a cross, it just, people automatically assume things about you. Hi, Corvus. How are you? How's the glitter? Still maintaining? So I'm just adding my beads to my frame that I made, and then I'm going to go back around again, and I'm going to make their little nests that they're going to sit in. The glitter won't die? I'm shocked. Heather is also shocked.
This is my shocked face.
I see her shocked face. She looks so shocked.
I nearly fell down.
Well, to be fair, that's something that happens on the regular.
That's true. It may not
Not just from shock. Just because we're clumsy. Look, it's a header.
But still shocked.
So shocked. Much shock. Such face.
Yes.
Good hair day again today, though. I'm super jelly.
It does what it wants.
Yeah, but it always looks good.
Well, thank you. I'm enjoying it today.
That's funny. Did he forbid you from associating with me, Mary, for a solid 6 months until all vestiges of the pink glitter are gone from my house? Oh, I'm sorry. Is your lymphedema getting worse, Lori, or is it just a routine review? Okay, so I prefer shinies spelled with one N, Corvus. I feel like you have the trademark on the shinies spelled with two N's. I would not want to take that from you. But I like it. Oh, that's awesome, Lori. I know, I need to see. So many things. So many things to do, and think, and say, and make, and clean. That's totally why you do two N's, Corvus. It's your thing. Okay, and how do you play hockey in a rink that has no ice? Is it like street hockey? Like, are they on like rollerblades, or are they just on shoes with a ball? So I'm guessing with a ball and shoes and hockey sticks, because nothing ever went wrong trying to lob a ball with hockey sticks. Got it. Shoes or skates. That just really sounds like a good way to get your nose broken, but of course, hockey in general is a good way to get your nose broken, so, you know. Oh God, if I tried to get on ice skates or rollerblades at this point in my life, I am pretty sure that I would wind up badly injured in some way. Like, I just don't think I could do it anymore. I was never really great on ice skates. I was better on rollerblades. Well, hi, Film Music Inc. Knee pads, yes. No, when I used to rollerblade, it was like...
Phil! Hi, Phil!
Oh, yay, right. You're the one with the theme music.
Exactly!
Cool, hi. Yeah, so when I used to rollerblade, the protective gear item that I found most valuable was wrist guards. Because if you're gonna fall down and you have wrist guards on, you can usually use your wrists to deflect the rest of your parts away from the pavement. So I sometimes wore knee pads, but I always wore my wrist guards. Always, always. And those were the best protective gear, in my opinion, for rollerblading. Ice skating, never wore protective gear. Fell down a lot. It was cold. 0 stars, do not recommend. Just for me, because I don't like being cold.
Being cold and falling down?
Being cold and falling down at the same time? Like, no. Mm-mm. Ooh. Hi, Shaquille.
Hi, Shaquille.
The Bruins are what type of team?
Really?
Yes, really.
Sorry.
I mean, I'm guessing we're still talking about hockey? We're
Yeah.
still in hockey.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I really like hockey, but I don't follow hockey. Which means that you can put a hockey game on, and I don't really give a shit who's playing. I'm going to enjoy watching it. But I also don't... Shaquille, stop booing me. That's not nice.
No.
But anyway, I will enjoy any teams playing any time, but that doesn't mean I know. Oh, you're booing the Leafs and the Oilers. Okay.
No booing of Allison, though.
Well, apparently he was not, which is good.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh, Corvus, you're an angel. You are a black-hearted, black-winged angel of the internet. However, I did remember on Sunday that I did not recap the dildo pearls on Saturday, and
It's true.
and I did not recap the chalices. So we still have 2 chalices left from Saturday. Those are $25 each. And we do still have dildo pearls left, which I can't remember how much they were. I want to say 6, yeah. So there are still dildo pearls as well from Saturday. And those are not featured in the highlight recap that Corvus just posted because I forgot to recap them. Okay, so this is what happens when you're just chitter-chattering on the internet and not paying attention to what you're doing. This is giant tangle, so I'm gonna fix. I don't know, Kenneth. What size batteries? Well, see, the thing is, they're not vibrator pearls. They're just dildo pearls. So, you know, they don't actually have to vibrate. They're just, you know, pleasure for the tiny Barbies.
Kenneth, remember, this is Texas. You can either look realistic or vibrate.
Seriously? Is that a law?
It used to be.
Got it. I did not know that.
The sex toy laws were weird. That's why cake toppers were a thing.
Got it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know that I could actually electrify one of the dildo pearls. I don't think that's within my capabilities. So I am still working on this. So I'm still working on putting the beads on. After I put the beads on, I'm going to go ahead and re-round it on my mandrel, and then I'm going to start doing the actual little kind of nests that they're going to sit on. Or in the nests that will surround them. So let's see, what's new and exciting? What did everyone do this weekend? Anything fun? This past week, I haven't seen you guys since Saturday. It's been so long. I feel like Heather might just be up on Texas sex toy laws, but I don't know.
I am only up on that because I've seen a documentary.
There you go.
Which is fascinating.
Yay, veg! What veg did you plant, Mary? I know you have surprise carrots. I bought, Hi, Tatty Fed! How are you? It's a Tatty Fed. And the Beading Dreams, Shaquille, I mean, technically they're for customers only. Let's see, so I got 3 pepper plants and 3 tomato plants at the Brumley Garden sale on Sunday. Have not yet planted them. And then I still have lettuce and spinach seeds I need to plant, and I did, my windowsill herb garden is actually, well, not a customer, Shaquille. But anyway, my windowsill herb garden is starting to sprout, so I just need to, like, you know, manage to get past the, like, babying phase of the sprouting, because invariably I'll forget about my sprouts for, like, 2 or 3 days, and then all of a sudden they're all sad and dead. I can't talk about that, Shaquille, because of confidentiality. Let's see, peas, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, tomato, hot pepper, banana pepper, holy shit, Mary, and bunch of new herbs, yay! And you're gonna have lemongrass as soon as I get to dividing that one that I got for us on Sunday. Yeah, so I've got banana peppers, serrano peppers, and jalapeno peppers. You ate the surprise carrots. I know, you roasted them. which is a good thing to do with carrots. So yes, I got banana peppers, serrano peppers, and jalapeno pepper plant, and then I got 2 different cherry tomatoes, I think, and then I have San Marzano tomato seeds. Ooh, yay! I have San Marzano tomato seeds, and then I've got lettuce seeds and spinach seeds and other seeds that may or may not actually germinate. Like, I really think that place that I got seeds from last year was just a dud, which is annoying. So we'll see if any of their seeds germinate this year. Okay, so I'm almost all the way around, so I'm going to take off this last piece of tape. Oh, yay! Hooray for snow melting! Yes, it just snowed again in Wisconsin. Well, I'm terrible at starting seeds. I am more of a chuck them in the ground and see what grows kind of person with seeds. Partly because I don't have a whole lot of room for seed starting. You know, all of those who grow many veggies and things, like, my hat is off to you, because it is a lot of effort and requires a lot of attention, which I don't always have to give. But let's see, my sage, my lemon verbena, sweet marjoram, and oregano all made it through the winter. So those are things I don't have to plant, and they're already established. Oh, well, also one of your friends, like, has absconded with your tiller, so that can't be helping. Oh, Turbo. Okay, well, to be fair, that sweet marjoram that I have, that's from before I lived there. That was the previous tenant, and when I moved in, it had taken over the entire herb garden. Like, that stuff is tenacious AF. Like, it's insane. I was surprised about the sage and the oregano. See, and I tried to move my thyme, and it did not enjoy that. It died. So I'm trying for more thyme in my windowsill garden. Yeah, nope. No mint. Mint dead. Still the only person in the world who can kill mint. Yeah, for everyone except for me, Lori. I'm the only one, I swear, on the planet that can kill mint and catnip. Can't grow catnip either. Kill both of them. Unintentionally, like I'm trying to grow them. Oh, hi people! There's a bunch of you now. Welcome, welcome. So, there's at least 3 other people in the world who kill mint. Yay! I'm not the only one. So...
I only bottle it.
What?
I only bottle it.
That's fair. So we are making, just for anybody who's just dropping in, we are making this today. This is a bangle bracelet made from 24 gauge wire with gemstones attached with 26 gauge wire, and it is based on a piece that I actually repaired live on stream on Friday of last week. So of course I decided to make one of my own. Well, I'm very glad that I'm not the only person in the world who kills mint, because I was feeling pretty bad about that. Oh, rhubarb. I've never grown rhubarb. Okay, so now that... I don't think so, Mary. I would love to see it though. All right, so this is my beginning. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim that end off and press that down with my chain nose so that it's not sticking up. And ooh, thank you for subbing. I need a cute thing, Corvus, that like bounces across my screen when somebody subs like you have. Because your stream is just so cool and mine is like so boring in comparison. Huh? Why are you cackling?
Your stream? I
Oh.
mean, right now I'm just the voice in the background, but sometimes I'm part of your stream.
Well, Corvus made an awesome, hold on, I need to go to not this, I need to go to this. Corvus made an awesome emote that is actually falling beads. It's really freaking cool. That. See? Corvus already made the cool thing. So I just need to put it on the actual screen when somebody subs. But thank you, Jimbo7625 for the sub. Much appreciated. Now I'm going to go back to finishing this project. Okay, so I got one more bead to put on, and then I'm going to start giving them their little nests. Okay. Noted, Corvus. Okay, so now I have all my beads are on here, and it's sturdied up a little bit. It's still not completely solid, but it's better than it was. I'm just gonna take my mandrel and I'm gonna just push this down on my mandrel to kind of re-round it out. Alright, and it does still fit, so that's good. It turned out a little bit smaller than I had expected, but I think we're still good. Alright, so now that it's round again, now I'm going to start making these little kind of nests that are going to hold the beads up and stabilize them. So all we're going to do all we're going to do to do that is we are going to start with our wire next to whatever bead we're at, and I'm just going to wrap it around the bead 3 times. So once, twice, 3 times. And you want to make sure that the wraps stay down kind of low. You don't want them to kind of spraying up off of your beads. And then we're going to wrap around the frame once, twice, and then we're going to go around the next bead. So 1, and I find it easier actually to rotate my bracelet sometimes than to move my wire. 2, 3, and then wrap in between the 2 twice, once, twice, and then we're going to continue on. So just make sure that you hold those beads so that they are staying straight and that you're getting that wire as close to the base of your bangle as possible. 1, 2. Okay, so I've started stabilizing those stones with that wrapping. You don't have to wrap 3 times. You can wrap more times or fewer times. I think 3 is just kind of a good even number, except for the fact that it's an odd number. It's a good round number. Thank you, Corvus, for linking to the calendar listing. That has the full supply list for this class. I know. I heard the words coming out of my mouth and I knew they were wrong, but all I can say is I have only drunk a little bit of this. Hi people, there's lots of you out there. So I'm now using my wire to kind of stabilize my stones by wrapping around them. And ideally you want to wrap around the base of them so that you make kind of a little nest or a little, you know, cup of wire for your beads to sit in. Yeah, I'm just going to get myself a little bit of progress on this and I'll put it back on the camera. So once you get right, Corvus? Yeah, so this goes pretty quickly once you kind of get your groove going with it. So I think I'm going to run out of wire, so that's fine. That'll give me a chance to show you guys how to add a wire before I finish. But we are definitely proceeding apace. Okay, so this is where I am at the moment. So I've done almost half of this. So I've got about half of my beads kind of supported in their little wire nests. So I've got about half of my bracelet here to go. So we're just going to keep on doing this. Yes, not today, but yesterday I was woken up by the Mamie Mew alarm. Because she decided it was time for her treats and being let out to terrorize the neighborhood. And she'll get like right in my ear and go like, meow! She's a very high-pitched little mew. And it's very effective at waking me up. So I am using Corvus 26 gauge gold filled wire. So gold filled doesn't really tarnish per se. Hi, Smee! So gold filled doesn't really tarnish per se. What's going to happen after about 5 to 8 years of wear is the gold is going to start to wear off of it and it's going to start to get darker. but that's way superior to the lifespan of most of your gold-plated wires. The downside is the cost. It's going to cost you, 2 to 3 to 4 times more than a basic gold-plated wire. Okay, so I'm out of wire. I still have 7 stones to do. So I'm going to go ahead and take this end and I'm going to wrap it around my frame about 3 or 4 times just to make sure that it is firmly anchored. I think we're going to go with 3 times because of the length of this wire. And then I'm going to cut myself another piece of my 26 gauge. So I started with 6 feet. I don't need to cut that much again because obviously I'm almost done. So I think I should be, but I don't want to run out either. So I think I should be able to do it with 2 feet. So when you're going to add a wire, you just want to back up a couple beads. So let's see, this is the next one I have to do. So I'm going to back up to right between these 2 beads here. And that's where I'm actually going to wrap it on. And then I'm going to wrap it around that one, and then I'm just going to continue forward. So yeah, filled is much more durable than plated, but it's also much more expensive. But it's always my preference. If I can afford it, I will usually go with gold filled. Obviously, 14 karat solid gold would be the one that lasts the best, but then you're talking about an exponential increase in price, and it is definitely not within the reach of a lot of crafters, myself included. And so once again, this is that kind of springing action that I warned you against. Well, don't put your thumb right in front of the camera, Allison. Just get that hand out of the way. See how this is kind of lifting up on the side of that? We don't want that. So I'm just going to go ahead and try and shove that down. Hopefully it'll go back down kind of under the outside of my stone like that. Alright, and then we're just going to keep going. I know, right? Wouldn't it be nice to be able to afford to make everything out of 14 karat?
I could do that. I just have to pick one project every 5 years.
Right?
But you know. Otherwise.
Alright, I'm on my last 2 stones.
Ow. That was stabby.
Well, don't stab yourself.
Well, it's too late now.
Well, sorry.
Me too.
So 2 feet was actually more than I needed. I definitely could have done that with 1 foot. You know, if only, Corvus, because I really, I only need 1. But I don't know where to sell a kidney. Okay, so now I'm just going to take this and I'm going to wrap it around my frame 3 or 4 times. 1, and pull it nice and tight. 2, and if I want to, like if I'm running out of room, I could go around this bead and then go to the next space, but I think I'm just going to stick here. Alright, so that's 3 times, and then I need to cut off this and this, so that's just the ends of the wire that I added. Cut them off, and then make sure you use your chain nose pliers to pull them around and press them down. So you definitely do not want them to be scratchy. And that down like so. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back onto my mandrel, round it out, make sure it is nice and sturdy. So kind of pushing it down and really pulling everything as taut as it possibly can be is going to help this be more durable. Alright, and there we go. That is a much more reasonably sized, delicate gemstone bangle. It is in fact me-sized. So there it is. So really a very simple project, time consuming, takes a decent amount of wire. So I wound up using 2 feet of 24 gauge and about 7 feet of 26 gauge. So, you know, it is a fairly wire heavy project, but as far as skills go, you're basically doing the same thing over and over again. Alright, so thanks so much for hanging out for the tutorial stream this Wednesday evening at twitch.tv/Beading Dream. Heather and I will be podcasting shortly. I do need to vacuum, so it'll probably be about 15 minutes before we get back on with the podcast. So that'll be closer to 7:45 than 7:30. But we are going to be talking about protective imagery and symbolism in jewelry, so hopefully it should be a really fun discussion. I've got some questions from Discord that I'm going to try to answer. So yeah, alright everyone, take a break. Yay! Thank you, Phil Music! It was nice to meet you too.
You better come back, Phil.
Heather says you better come back.
You promised.
Okay, so time for me to take a quick break, you guys to take a quick break, and we'll be back on this channel, twitch.tv/Beading Dream, probably around 7:45 with that podcast. Alright, everyone, have a good break, and we'll see you in 15.